And now we're joined on the Orioles Hot Stove Show by Koby Perez, who is the Orioles Senior Director of International Scouting. Koby, thanks so much for hopping on.
Yeah, pleasure to be on with you guys.
It's a busy time for you, so we appreciate you making the time out to do this. How has your job changed since the international signing period? It used to be July 2nd, used to be J2. It moved to January a couple years ago. How did that change what you do and your process of operations?
Yeah, really nothing changes as far as the process is involved because we work so far ahead in advance. I think it does hurt the players a little bit because July till January, it's 5 months of development time that we lose with the players that we had in the past. I think nutritionally and just spending time with our player development staff. We lose 5 months, but they still have 5 months to ramp up for the Dominican Summer League, which typically starts in early June.
When Sig was here, I asked him about the analytics department, the process of building it. Are you finished now? And he said something to the effect of, you're never really done. You think you are, but you really aren't. I'd like to ask you something similar when it comes to the international side. Can you take us through that process of building up the department? Because there wasn't a whole lot going on there before you got here, if anything. And are you now, is it complete? Are you done adding?
Yeah, I think year by year, it becomes fluid. We kind of evaluate the territories that we're dealing with internationally, and we try and figure out if we need to add or subtract from certain places. Right now, we've added another scout to Venezuela, and we added a scouting assistant to the Dominican operation. So I think we're continually growing, and I think we'll see what comes of next year, but we feel pretty good about the spot we're in now.
A major building block for the Orioles International Department was the beginning of construction on that academy in the Dominican. How has that gone? I know that there were some COVID concerns when there were some shipping delays, but how's the academy looking right now? How's construction going?
Yeah, it's progressing nicely, and we're hoping to give out more information on that soon. It becomes real fluid with the shipping delays, not just in the DR, but everywhere in the world, and a little bit of the weather. But if everything falls in our way, I think we'll have good news soon.
I see you periodically over the course of the year. How do you split your time between being in the warehouse, attending any minor league games, and traveling abroad and scouting?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. I mean, when I do so much internationally and I'm out of town, I usually do around 120 to 150 days out of the country. When I'm in the warehouse, it's good. Since I live here in Baltimore, I get to go home and see my family. But, we try our best to spread ourselves as best as we can. And we're fortunate here in Baltimore that a lot of our affiliates are close by, which are, commutes. So I'm able to see, our teams and watch our kids play.
And when a player goes stateside after you've been able to sign him, kind of develop him, whether it's abroad in a different country, and then he comes to the United States, how much do you personally like to follow a player's development and see how he's progressing?
Oh no, we stay on them all the way through. Yeah, we continue conversations with them. In the off season, they go back to these countries. They always pop up and say hello, or they're at the academies working. When we're there, so we keep fluid communication, and a lot of times, especially with our scouts and myself, they feel real comfortable expressing how they feel to us. So we're always there to offer support and help player development in any way we can.
The Cesar Prieto signing last year was intriguing because of his pedigree, how advanced he was. There was talk of would he start at one of the higher affiliates, could he actually make his major league debut, and he ended up topping out at Bowie. How would you evaluate his season and the way he developed?
I think it was a solid season. I mean, he went out and performed very well in Aberdeen. Hit a little bit of a roadblock when he got to AA, but I think he still showed a lot of signs of what we liked when we signed him. And one thing that I noticed is he never played this long ever. The seasons in Cuba are very short, and then when there were international tournaments, there were short tournaments. So I don't think he's ever accumulated that many at-bats, and I feel, toward the end, it caught up to him, and from what I understand, he's preparing really hard this year to try and get through, 500 or 600 at bats.
Since you joined the Orioles back in 2019, the O's have gone out and acquired a lot of international signees, recent international signees via trade, in addition to the signings that they make on J2 or in January. How involved are you in scouting the players that have already been signed by other teams and are playing at other academies in the Dominican Republic or elsewhere? And do you have a say in who the Orioles acquire when it comes to extra players in those kind of trades?
Yeah, well, our front office is a very collaborative group. So, Mike Snyder and his group do a good job of identifying the prospects. And if they're from an area where we're familiar with in the international department, they'll always ask us questions. Do you guys see any red flags here? Do you guys know them? What do you guys think of them? And, we're always happy to help in anything we're asked. So, we know about these players but the credit goes to our pro scouting department who identify the guys that we would like.
The new international signing period opens on Sunday. That's going to be a busy day for you, and we appreciate you taking the time out to talk about it.
No, I appreciate you guys having me. Always fun.
Koby Perez, the Orioles Senior Director of International Scouting, joining us here on the Orioles Hot Stove Show.